where we're potentially our strongest is pass rush. And we've got the most capable pass rushers that we've had. And we've got the ability to really rotate our players, which is very important in pass rush because that's probably you exert more energy there than any place else. There's ways that we can take our personnel and address what happened to us Sunday.
Okay, Jerry.
We need to get in the All-22.
I love it. Some interesting thoughts coming off a loss to the Panthers. Dan, what went wrong for the Cowboys on Sunday in Carolina?
I actually thought that the Carolina defense outperformed the Cowboys offense. Now, Dak was really good. Pickens made some plays, but there were some red zone opportunities for this offense that they just didn't get done, and that really hurt. Now, they scored 27. There's no question about it, but with the way their defense is playing, that's not going to be enough. And so there's 2 or 3 times that they're down in the red zone and they don't score touchdowns. They got to kick field goals. I absolutely think this is a team that 4th and 5 or less, once you pass the 50-yard line, should absolutely go for it instead of kicking field goals.
The Jets fell to 0-5 on Sunday when they lost in London to the Broncos. Mina, what went wrong for Aaron Glenn and the Jets in that one?
Yeah, no mystery here. One of the worst offensive performances, I think, statistically of all time. But to narrow the specificity, Justin Fields just did not pull the trigger in this game. It's been a problem at times with him over the course of his career. I actually think he has been better at it earlier. But in this particular game, he's just showed such hesitancy to throw the ball. Guys weren't always open, but there were moments where he could have thrown, particularly to Garrett Wilson, and I was just screaming at the tape saying, throw the ball, as I'm sure Jets fans were.
She actually was, you guys. Yeah. Seattle defeated the Jags on Sunday. Graz, you were in the building. What went wrong for the Jaguars?
Seattle really just beat them up front with their defensive front. Seattle's so banged up on the back end, but they dominated with their defensive line. Jaguars were using a backup center. I'm talking to some of their people before the game. They were talking about the adjustments they would have to make, helping with guards, run more outside as opposed to up the middle. None of it worked. Byron Murphy, Leonard Williams, that crew was just dominant and just pressured Trevor Lawrence into problems all day, and the Jaguars could never get their run game going.
All right, only the Browns have allowed fewer yards per rush than the Seahawks defense this season. They're allowing just 3.3 yards per carry this season. That would break the franchise record. And they rank 6th in yards before contact, 2nd in yards after contact allowed on the ground this season. So, Mina, the Seattle defense means business this year. What stood out to you through now week 6 that you've seen so far?
Oh, my God, those numbers are beautiful. Oh, there's so much to talk about. I'll say this. I just love the way Mike Macdonald leans into the versatility of his defensive stars. And watching this game back, 2 players really jumped out to me. One was Leonard Williams. Yesterday I said he's like the best defensive player that no one ever talks about. Watching some of the pressures and sacks, he was just lined up everywhere. On the sacks, he was at 3-tech, 1-tech, 9-tech, outside of Nwosu at one point, 5-tech, multiple times. McDonald's just so good at using him, particularly on overloads to get the matchups he wants, and he is fantastic. And then the other one, and this was new, Nick Emenwari, the rookie, who hasn't really played this year because he's been hurt, sort of a hybrid safety that they got in the 2nd round. In this game, he was mostly in the slot, but they had him in the box, and then he put him on the line of scrimmage and sent him as a blitzer a couple times, and he forced incompletions. That is something to monitor going forward because his ability to do that, he's so explosive, is going to create doubt in the minds of quarterbacks the same way that Kyle Hamilton did back in Baltimore, especially when Julian Love and Devin Witherspoon are back on the field. Just a really, really special performance from those 2 players. I
was literally going to say he's found his Kyle Hamilton, and you just took it. So I totally agree with that. So you stopped the run on early down, Seattle, and now this 4-man rush is something that offensively it's a problem to deal with, not only because of Leonard Williams, but really all 4 of those guys. So it's really the concept of like solo overload. What I mean by that is Nwosu right now is by himself out here, okay? So you have to ask yourself as an offense, do you have a tackle that can block him one-on-one? And then you get this overload backside of Leonard Williams, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Boye Mafe. So this is a problem offensively because if you think you can block him one-on-one, great. If you can't, you have number problems backside. Now, this is what happens. What they do in these situations is they're taking creating this internal picture and burying your offensive linemen. If you look at this right now, 3 offensive linemen for Jacksonville, blocking 2. So you've created one-on-one and one-on-one, but you've only rushed 4. Then they get into that attack mode. Those one-on-one perimeter players on the outside or perimeter rushers on the outside win. That was in Nwosu by himself. This time, DeMarcus Lawrence to the right by himself. Can you block him one-on-one? And then you got Murphy, Leonard Williams, and Nwosu here. And now, again, we want to create these internal problems for you to take numbers and then get those one-on-ones. There's this internal game. How many people are blocking? 3-on-2, but I have a one-on-one there. I have a one-on-one there. The Seattle Seahawks are taking this 4-man pressure with this solo overload and burying your numbers. This time, Boye Mafe's by himself, right? Boye Mafe's right here by himself. Murphy, Leonard Williams, and then DeMarcus Lawrence. Can you block him one-on-one? If you think you can block him one-on-one, great numbers, but that's a problem. This time, look at this 2-man game because this is called that TE stunt where the tackle goes in, the end comes underneath. It's only 2-on-2 because these 3 are blocking those 2. Advantage Seattle with their rush and DeMarcus Lawrence. Another opportunity. Now Boye Mafe by himself. All these guys are playing these roles. Here comes this 2-man game backside because we had 3 blocking 2 on the opposite angle, and it's absolute chaos in the middle of the pocket. The versatility that Mina's referencing of those guys all being able to play those different roles, sometimes by themselves, sometimes in the internal game, sometimes in the 2-man game opposite. This is a difficult defense. I think Seattle is, no question, because of their defense, an NFC championship contender.
Ooh, I love it. You'll see him on Monday Night Football, Dan. You get to see him up close and personal. Graz, on the other side of the ball, things seem to be working out with Sam Darnold as the new QB1 in Seattle. What are you hearing about how they feel about Sam?
Oh, they feel great about Sam. And remember, you go back to the offseason, their original plan was to do an extension with Geno Smith. They got into negotiations, felt like he wasn't that interested in doing the extension, so they trade him and they signed Sam Darnold. So far, Sam Darnold is playing, they would tell you, better than he played last year when he had that great year in Minnesota in a lot of ways. And they're just thrilled. They feel like they're getting similar, if not superior performance of what they were getting from Geno for less money with a younger player. So, yeah, they're over the moon about how Sam Darnold has played and the way he's able to find Jackson Smith and Jigba for big plays down the field.
Yeah,